Hello, everybody. This is Miss T. I wanted to discuss something today. It is now February 28th, and it's officially the last day of Black History Month. So we have been conditioned that today, um, after today, we're to go back to our everyday lives or not continue to learn about our people. But that is ludicrous. First of all, they tried to hide our history. They try to wipe our history out. So there's so many things that we still don't know after all these years. To learn and to find out what our people have done, what they've invented, what they've created, the poetry, the art, um, the doctor, first man who did open heart surgery, all the things that we accomplished could not possibly be found out in 1 month. I don't care how many years it's been. They have conditioned us to believe that we played a small role in this world, that we came over here as slaves. We just picked cotton, sugarcane, tobacco, whatever. Then we were freed, and then we've done nothing but cause chaos ever since. If it wasn't for Black people, this world wouldn't run the way that it does. First of all, they've taken uh, some of the stuff that they've learned is from Egypt. Egypt was so much far advanced than the U.S. They were doing things, coming up with mathematical things before the U.S. ever knew anything. So they stole certain things from certain groups of people and tried to make it their own. If you would go and watch how the Chinese do math, because America took that concept from them, but they made it their own. If you could see how easy math is to do, 155 plus 2, if you could see how easy they do it, you would wonder why. what was America thinking? I don't know. But I promise you, if we would have learned most of the stuff that we were supposed to learn in school, like the Chinese, we'd all be intelligent. And the way that they put education ahead of everything. Like if you don't know, if you don't learn, you can't do. So that might have just been something that they put into play so that we didn't learn anything or didn't know anything. We know exactly that they didn't teach us anything about Black history as we were growing up, and it's worse now because they don't even teach Black history in some schools. I did a quiz for some kids. I don't know if I've said this before, but I just gave them the basic questions like, who is Martin Luther King? Who is Rosa Parks? Just basic. They did. I hope that when I said who is Martin Luther King, that they were just joking, because it went from everywhere he played in the Super Bowl to he was Rosa Parks' boyfriend. I hope, well, they didn't act like they were joking, but that's ridiculous. I said, how do you not know the man who you get the day off of school? You don't know who he is? But it's sad. It really is sad. I had went to a school and I asked them, what is their curriculum? Do they teach African American history? Well, you know what, Black history? And they said no. And I said, when did they take that out of the class? He said, well, they left it up to the teacher. So if the teacher wants to say something during February or whatever, it's her choice. So again, we're going backwards, because they used to teach, when I was going to school, my history was we were slaves. That's it. That was it. I didn't know anything else after that. And I just, every day for the February 28th, through February through the 28th, we were slaves. And when I asked my teacher what else did we do? Because I wasn't a slave yesterday, so I want to know what. She sent me to the office. So I knew then that they were hiding something, because what would be the reasoning that she could have just said, well, you go find this book or go read this, because I don't know if they were told that's the curriculum that they teach, that we were slaves and nothing more. But when things when something doesn't seem right to me, I have to go and find out myself. And boy, when I went to find out all the stuff that I found out, I went through a phase of, and it was wrong, that, I didn't like those people. I didn't trust those people. That kind of phase. As I went through life, I got older, it kind of got me in trouble, because I was always on guard. So when I was at work and someone said something, like, I would read every single thing. I just anything derogatory, anything great, redone, anything. So one day, the guy, I walked into the door and he said, "Good morning, sunshine," and I immediately snapped. Now, he might have just been saying good morning because you're always nice, and so I don't know. But to me, sunshine is a derogatory remark. And I snapped. I had to take take a step back, and, because I believe not all people are, I don't want to say, well, racist. I believe some are, believe they're superior, but they don't hate us or they don't dislike us. They just think they're better than us. And then the racists hate us and don't want us around them. So to say that first year that I was working there was a trying time, it was. But what it taught, I don't know, because most of the time, I'm from it's not a small town, but there's several small towns around my city, and there are towns where white people never had seen a black person back in those years, had never seen a black person. So I had to learn that some of them are just curious. So, when the guy next to me said colored, I had to set him straight, but he wasn't trying to be mean or anything. He said he didn't know what name, because they changed, and he thought black was offensive and this and that and this. So some of them aren't really aware, but the majority of them are fully aware, and I just have to let God handle that, because I can't pick a fight with every situation that I come across. I couldn't do. I can't. I was doing that, and it was It wasn't a good thing for me. Um, I had a reputation at my job as don't say, basically just don't say nothing to her, because you don't, we're all afraid. I had a supervisor tell me that we're afraid of you because we don't, and I didn't want that. I don't want you to be afraid. I want you to respect me, and just show me the same thing, treat me the same way that you treat every Caucasian person in here. But I've had to fight. It was many years that I had to go through. It's still not, all the way, but I'm on a different cause, so I don't even. And plus, we get to work from home, so God bless me to do that, because I don't have to deal with some of the stuff that goes on in the office. What I think black people should do is stop waiting for them to give us some kind of accolade, some kind of award, or some kind of, to tell us, they're just appeasing us from all the stuff that has gone on. Teach history, or don't even call it, teach our people's accomplishments and everything in the home. Have a day, each day or whatever, to read a story, or have your child look up this, buy black authors books that teach about, my hair, my skin color, all those things, because they're gonna go out into the world and be abused and worse. But if they have a little bit of knowledge to know that that their people, where they came from, were not dumb, couldn't read, because that was not true. Just because they came over here and they didn't read English doesn't mean they could not read. And it was so ironic. And if you go back, and there's so many uploads you just have to find, but if they thought we couldn't learn or couldn't read, what would be the purpose of not letting us have a book? We could stare at it. It didn't mean anything to us because we couldn't read, right? So they say. But all the lies and all the fear that they put into people was because they knew we were kings and queens, and they tried to diminish, they tried to take away, they tried to wipe out all of our history and our power by degrading, by murder, can't say that word, by unaliving, by graping. They want to say they didn't want us, that's KKK's favorite. We don't want us, they didn't want our blood mingling with theirs to ruin you ruined our bloodline. So I don't know. We had royal blood. We were, and you wanted to protect, what were you protecting your blood for? If we came over here, like I said, we were here, but I'm just going by what they're saying. If we came over here fair, you just brought us over here, we had no chain. Why did you put chains on us? You knew that looking at the African or the black man, that you could not go up against it. You could not belittle him or make him do or break him without those chains. Because if you would have brought them over here, or you would have captured them here without any type of weapons or any type, this would be a black country, if you think about that, because you would have been overpowered. Black men were built different. Now, I don't know why. I try to read about why we all look different, or we all have different features. And they talk about the Caucasus Mountains. They went further and they didn't have sunlight, so their skin was pale, and whatever. But the way black people were built, they were strong. They were built strong. They didn't even have to go to the gym, because there wasn't one. That's just how they were built, with big muscles, a big chest, legs, or whatever. That's how they were built. That's why when they because they don't tell you, what they want to hide now is that the wives of the slave masters were sleeping with the men, forcing them to do it. And then if the husband found out, the man had the consequences. They know fully well that the wife was the one. She didn't scream, whatever, but because they envied, they hated, they wanted to ruin any kind of trust we had amongst each other. They wanted to divide us, so that we didn't come together and come for them. That they did everything that they could to do that. And unfortunately, I feel that it was accomplished, and it's still going on today, that we are divided amongst each other. When I was little, my grandmother taught me she didn't say stuff like, be dainty or whatever. She taught me to be trustworthy, honest, keep your word, do your best at anything you try, those kind of things. And I'm glad that she did. But so I think as a child, I wanted to learn things, and I wasn't so affected by all the things going around. Me and my brother was lighter than me, and so every time we got in an argument, the first thing that came out of his mouth is Blackie, because he was lighter than me. That didn't affect me. I never cried and he called me. I never did, because I didn't care about it. But that was me. There's thousands, hundreds of thousands of other kids who went through that era, that era of it's not cool to be dark with big lips, short hair, or whatever. You were teased. But society, not us, because that is still kind of embedded in our heads today, but white society now says it's beautiful. So now they got models on TV that are just dark, it's cold, but they're beautiful. But now they want to envy and say this is beautiful and put them in front of us, because now they say, so now white people accept that it's beautiful. Look at her skin, look at her natural hair, and but that wasn't the case before. When they said it wasn't beautiful back in the day, black women couldn't be on TV unless they were half white or look white or light or whatever. And we should have known all along. Black women should have known, no matter what color they are, what their hair looks like, that they still are strong, beautiful black women. And black men should have upheld it that way, or should have been in their corner, but, and I say that we were brainwashed and that's what happened, but sometimes I just think black men just want to be, want to fit in with society. There's no more Martin Luther Kings, there's no more Malcolm X's, there's no more Fred Hamptons, just no more. And I don't think one man, like I said, should have to play the role of, getting these people together, because we see what they do to that one man. I think it should be the whole community. It should be every last person who considers themselves a black person, who has been fired because they have braids in their hair, or called a name, or was, called the N-word. Just anybody. That should make you mad enough to want to push your people up front, to want to uphold your people. And there are a few people, I'm not saying everybody, but what I've noticed is that, and you can get mad, I guess, that black women seem to be more militant, or more ready to stand up for rights than black men. It's like, give me my car and my gold chains and my whatever, and I'm cool, I'm fine. And I said that's not all. I'm just saying, from what I have been around, it seems like black women who are, wanting change, stand up far more than black men. We're in that mentality. If it's not affecting me, if it doesn't put money in my pocket, if it not, whatever, that you're not concerned. But we all are brothers and sisters. And I say that because, we're all brothers and sisters, but I'm saying black people, as we are all brothers and sisters. They have done everything under the sun to us. I don't care if your skin is as black as tar or as light as the sun. They still don't like you. They might put you in certain places because to them you're better, you're better to look at, or whatever. But let me ask you something. Now, when they so-called brought us over here, or captured us here, there weren't any light-skinned, there wasn't no light-skinned people. I mean, I'm not going to say there wasn't. How do I rephrase that? We were dark. But the white men loved black women. They were dark with the nappy hair and the big lips and whatever, and they loved black women. They just used that excuse that, say all these bad things, and they're only doing it to keep them in line, and whatever the lies that they told. But they loved them. They loved their structure, their bodies, the way their bodies were. Their wives would, do you know where the dresses, like I said, the dresses that came where the woman had to wear those things under the skirt that makes the back of them look bigger? That's because they were trying to emulate the butt of a black woman. Black women have always been stolen from them. um, white women go get their, their breasts, their butts done, then they go get lip injections, then they go get tans, then they, just everything. Just be you. Doing all that stuff is not what you think it's going to do. Evidently, you think it's black women are beautiful. You want to be one because, well, you want to pretend you want to be one, but you don't want to be one because you're going to jump back on the other side if something goes down. You'll bring out your birth certificate immediately if we had a race war or something like that. Lord, well, I'm not going to say that because that's not going to happen. But you'll stop being black immediately if you have to, or stop acting black, or whatever. We keep this skin on us all day long, 24/7, and so we have to maneuver life with trying to make our lives comfortable, trying to avoid situations between, we're the only group of people that have to say that a mother has to tell her son who just got his driver's license, or keep your hands, the police stop you, do this, don't do this. We're the only ones who have to give our kids lectures on how to live outside of the house. Kids can't just be kids. They can't, they can't be free. They can't just enjoy their life because they have to make sure that they're safe. We see all the things that happen in the news, and then we are just numb to everything. Like, oh, they shot him 52 times, or the man had handcuffs on and they beat him to death. And then we just go on and have our whatever. Nobody's outraged. Nobody thinks about it after the next day because there's going to be another one happening, unless it's their family. Most things, the children are being harmed by their own kind. There are so many stories in the news about young girls missing. Now, some of these girls, I've never seen, this era is different. And the Bible says as God comes closer, is on his way here, things are going to be terrible, hectic. It's going to be lawless. Women are unaliving their children for whatever. Women are leaving their children to take care of themselves so they can go off and live their best lives. And I'm saying women because it's not just black women. Caucasian women are doing the same. If you're in now the last three stories that I've seen, one of the ladies had two babies, a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old, and she would leave them at home. She says overnight. She would always come back the next day to check on them, but I don't believe her, because why is your house, or you just didn't clean up I don't know. But she would leave them home so that she could be over there with her boyfriend. Now I have two issues, because when if you met that woman and she told you she had 2 kids and you knew that she was doing this, as a man, you should be in jail too. Now, she could be lying to you and telling you that the kids are with a babysitter. I don't know, so I can't really say what his part was. But she left them kids in the house, 2 and 3, overnight by themselves. And the last day that she did that, she came home and her baby was unalived. They are not sure if the little baby, because there were knives all around the house, but what they do think happened is that a rat gnawed on the baby and put a gash in her throat and she bled. I can't watch any of these anymore because it gets me down and depressed that I don't understand. So I can't, I can't just, what does a child, other than cry sometimes, but they probably wouldn't if you did your job. What does a child do that makes you want to stab them 42 times or allow your boyfriend to molest your 2-year-old daughter, and when she's found unconscious and rushed to the hospital, her spleen is tore in half, and all her other parts on her body. And people keep saying mental illness is real, and I do believe that, but some of this is not mental illness. It's pure evil. It's evil. It's just people don't have, since they've gone through life just doing them, they don't have any kind of conscience, morals or values or anything. Children are to be protected. If you can't handle your child, or that you don't want to take care of them anymore, leave them on. Make a phone call. If you're going to leave them in the house, just say, there's kids left, whatever. It's going to be easier for you to be judged if you left your kids in the house, but no harm came to them. They're not unalive. They're not. That's why I said it doesn't make any sense. If you want to be free and don't want to have kids, unaliving them does not make sense, does it? Because when they find out, you're not going to be free ever again in your whole entire life. Kids don't get a chance. They're not being nurtured and taken care of and taught and getting prepared for their life. They're just here. They're just here. Sometimes they're here for a check and some food stamps, and that's really harmful. That's really a sick thing. If you just want to hold on to your kids for a check and food stamps, or maybe a check, income tax or whatever, that's really crazy to me, because you couldn't possibly be getting that much. And then we wonder why we get children that turn out to be criminals or stealing. We don't know. Maybe that 14-year-old boy broke into that house or broke into that store because he wanted to get food for him and his brothers and sisters. We don't know, but it's just rampant, and it's harmful, it's hurtful, it's terrible. But I will say, men, some of our women have low self-esteem. They're suffering from, they don't know who they are, they don't know their worth. So they'll accept anything from a man. If you're any type of man, if you know that woman has kids, if you tell her, go take care of your kids, go feed your kids, and go clean up your house, do you not think she would do it? Because you told her to do it? Absolutely she would. Because she will do anything to keep that man. And if I'm not talking about you, I'm not talking about you. Don't come for me. I know there's a lot of wonderful mothers. There's a lot of wonderful women. So I'm not talking to you. But men, if you're in that type of situation and you know that, I mean, if you have kids and your kids are being taken care of and your kids are being fed, don't you have the heart to have that for all kids? I mean, maybe you don't really care for this woman, but just the simple fact that she's got your back or does whatever, wouldn't you want her to, try and be better? So I believe, and I'm not going to say I believe because I've seen it. I've seen my friends in relationships, and the man that they're dealing with didn't allow them, come in the house better be clean, your kids better be clean, and they better be fed. And that was just that. They might have been a dog, or they might have had several of them that he had to go check each house, but I respected the fact that those kids were, in his mind, you're going to take care of your kids no matter what. We all come from different places. When you go to another state, it's like being in a different world. It's like going to a different country. Everybody does do the same thing. We don't even talk the same. Different things are not important here than they are here. So people might not understand other people's their ways, or what they do is because they've never been there. They didn't live that way. So I don't judge. I really don't. I just bring things to light that comes to my head. Because like I said, I'm not a perfect person, and I will fall and have fallen. But if we keep just going at this rate, our kids are going to be, we're proving to them what they say we are. And they always, if it's something bad, they'll put it in the news, and they'll put mother throws baby out the window, but